Oh, hi. Welcome to another contractually obligated edition of 10 Minutes with Andrew Sean Greer. And if you're wondering if why I'm dressed completely in cannabis products, first of all, these are palm trees. Thank you very much. And it's because it's the outdoor edition. My cocktail today is a Claude Upson daiquiri. There's no sugar in a Claude Upson daiquiri. There's honey and White Claw, and for garnish, just a bent paper clip. But honey is a hint to our special guest today, Christine Hyung-Oak Lee, who's joining us right now. Wait. We're waiting for her. I just know it's gonna happen. Meanwhile, Christine,
Howdy.
hello.
Hello.
Thank you.
I'm in my beekeeper jacket.
Oh, thank you for doing that. I was gonna I couldn't find anything with a veil. I mean, first of all, I
Not
think
that kind of veil.
we want to see the bees. Basically,
Yes.
is why we're here.
I'm actually walking out to them now with my smoker.
Wow,
Like ambiance, right? It's like
this
instead of a fan, smoke.
it's so glamorous.
Oh, we're going through the dead zone. Let me
Uh,
run until
would
I'm out of the dead zone.
there's a bit of a we have tried this. There's a bit of a dead zone in her what seems to be enormous backyard. Although I know she's just taking a windy path through
Yes,
Hobbiton Farm.
yeah,
Yeah.
Hobbiton Farm because I'm a misanthrope. All right.
As
Um,
many writers are, yes. Would you now?
exactly.
Many people, while they're in a sort of lockdown, they're dreaming of being a beekeeper. Would you encourage or dissuade this instinct?
To become a beekeeper?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
You would
I think that
encourage it,
that's great.
or
I love beekeeping.
okay,
It's completely conducive to sheltering in place. You get to see the bees traveling, so you get to vicariously forage through them. And if you have OCD, and it's a great productive outlet because it's all like the bees are super neat and they've got all these little like perfectly hexagonal cells and it smells great. And right now I'm hanging out here.
oh wow! Wait, it
And
smells great.
honestly,
That hadn't occurred to me.
pardon?
It smells great. It hadn't occurred to me. Would
Oh my
smells of
gosh, it
honey
smells
or
great. And you can't smell it on video, but it smells like honey, smells like wax. Because if you've ever smelled the beeswax candle, imagine that amplified. And then they make this thing called propolis, which is this sticky tar-like substance that they make from tree sap to seal up all their hives, and it's antibacterial. It's antibacterial, so it's really good during COVID because um, you're exposed somewhat to this like antibacterial thing.
all right? Do you want to show us? Do you want to show us a
Yes,
bee or
let's do
two?
that. And I got to figure out the
Okay.
best place to position this darn thing, which I didn't do
Yeah,
well.
and everyone, forgive us if
It's
it
sideways.
jars now and then. It's worth it.
Can you see me?
It seems to be. Yeah,
I
we
gotta
could
put
see
my
you.
veil on.
Great.
Yeah, I know. I gotta make sure that that beehive is in. There it is. There you go.
Wow.
So I'm lifting the cover now, and there's something called an inner hive cover. You have to take off. Yes, I'm doing this barehanded. My bees are super gentle. I also try not to use smoke. Ah! Can you see this?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So this
Oh,
is like
that's
that outer honey frame. There's no queen on this. And I'll take you to the hive. I'm actually I actually violated a beekeeper rule by walking in front of the entrance. I don't know how to. Where
Oh,
is the
why don't you walk in front of
reversal?
the entrance? Because they'll be mad?
Oh, that's where the bees go in and out, and they get really
Okay.
annoyed if you go by the entrance. And so there's something called a hive tool. So, for instance, you use it to pry open these frames because they're very sticky with propolis. And you get to see things like that. And so you'll see here, can you see it?
Wow. Yes, yes.
So this is capped honey that the bees cap over when the honey gets to 80% to down to 18% water. And then those are open cells of nectar turning into honey. And there's more. So that's generally the hive. I'm not going
And
to go too much into it because then it'll just take up the whole session.
well, I think we could watch it. So wait, tell me about there's one queen in the hive, or
Yes, there's only one queen in the hive. And if there are two queens, they're going to fight to the death. I'm going to take off my veil now.
so you feel safe with barehanded and even standing near the hive.
With this hive, yeah, it's really super chill. This hive is really gentle and it's in good health. It's in full sun, so they're really not irritated at all. Because bees will sting if they feel defensive.
Yeah. You've
And
had
there's really,
problems with robbing, right?
oh my gosh, yes.
Tell us
So
about that.
it's it's a time of year when there's not a lot of nectar out there, and so neighboring bees will come and bees. That's all they do is they forage all day. They're getting ready for winter all year long, and they will come and they will smell honey in a weak hive, and they will just steal all the honey out of a hive if they can.
So they crawl in there and suck up honey and then spit it back out in their hive?
Yes, they'll just carry it in their abdomens or and then carry it back to their hive and then spit it back up.
And so how do you prevent that or fix it if it's happening?
Well, I do it by putting on robbing screens. In fact, I can walk back to the hive and show you what I mean by that. And there's this little screen because the bees who live in the hive orient visually. So once they go out, they know exactly the way in. Whereas bees that don't belong to the hive orient by smell. So they'll go straight to where the smell is. But you'll see that on a robbing screen, the opening is blocked by a screen. The bees have to go up the screen and in. So it would be sort of like if you were at home and you put, like, you had to crawl up and over it.
Okay, so it's like a
So,
fence kind of thing.
yeah. Do you see it?
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
there's this robbing screen, and the bees go in this way and down, whereas a robber bee would try to go in like that.
Someone is asking in the comments, do you worry about hive collapse?
I do all the time. Hive collapse is largely due to research, according to research, due to the varroa mite, which I forget what year it came to the United States. But the varroa mite is this tiny, tiny little thing, and it burrows into bee baby bodies and weakens the health of the bees. So by the time the bee hatches, it's just susceptible to all kinds of viruses, and it could just completely decimate a hive. I think that urban areas or areas with a lot of beekeepers in them per square mile are particularly vulnerable. So I do these things called powder sugar roll tests. So you put bees in a jar, and you shake it, and the mites fall off the bee bodies, and then I test to see what the mite counts are on the hive. And then once it's above a certain level, I'll put on a natural treatment. And commercial beekeepers will just put on full-on chemical treatments.
Wow, it feels like a lot of work, but it must feel just like you're a magician or you're like walking among magical creatures, like you're like entering fairyland or something.
Yeah, and they're a matriarchy. So I mean, I got this hive when like in a time in my life where I was like, I just need to be like surrounded by the female energy, and so there's that too, and it's the whole like pheromone feedback, and it's the utter balance of the hive, right? The queen will lay if she smells the need for more brood. Like if the brood smell isn't there, she'll lay more. If the brood smell isn't there, she'll lay less. The workers will respond to and be like, if the queen pheromone goes down, that means the queen is failing, and by fail it means she's no longer fertile. So in that sense, it's very very traditional. And they'll either make a new queen to replace her or kill her. And if they will often do two queen cells at least, and if the queens hatch at the same time, they will just do a Game of Thrones situation and kill each other, and strongest queen wins, and that is the one queen of the hive.
I Our 10 minutes are up. I could go on forever asking you questions, which I will next time I see you. But thank you so much for
Yeah,
joining us. This has been super fascinating.
I know, and there's so much more to learn about bees. So, like, go out and read,
But follow
and visit a
Christine's
beekeeper.
Instagram. She has a lot of amazing videos and things on there too.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. All
I
right.
know I thought about making a honey cocktail. All right,
It's
bye.
all right. Bye.